to stop overthinking and start taking action today. Hello, how are you? I am your host, and Tracey Watts Cirino, and I'd like to welcome you to Beyond Common Business Secrets. As a five-time international best-selling author, a keynote speaker, and personal development coach, I help advanced business owners reignite their passion and break through plateaus and align their personal and professional lives for true fulfillment. Today, we are tackling a game changer of a topic. It's so near and dear to my heart, how to stop overthinking and start taking confident action today. This is so important because I see so many amazing leaders and female entrepreneurs that are struggling with this daily, especially those that are moms. I see them getting stuck in the analysis paralysis. It works like this. It's you have big goals, you have big dreams, but instead of moving forward, you're second guessing yourself. You're second guessing yourself so much that you are suffering from pure exhaustion. Sound familiar? So today we're going to break this cycle. I'm going to give you my absolute best strategies for shifting from overthinking, where your brain's all crazy and busy, into aligned, unstoppable action. So, my friend, grab your coffee or tea and take a deep breath and let's dive in. So, the beginning of all of this is I want you to think why overthinking is typically blocking your success. The illusion of perfect decisions. Yes, I know I said it. You heard it here first, right? We have this illusion, and I say we here because you are not alone, friend. Um, this is so common, and we often suffer from this. We suffer from the illusion of there being a perfect decision. This illusion is what is keeping you stuck. Success is not about being perfect in any way. It's about showing up and putting yourself out there. So I know people always tell you it's about consistency. And, I think everyone's definition of what works for their energy and, what is consistent is the way to go, right? So when you think about it in this way, it's not about being perfect. It is showing up consistently as your best self. So you might be the person that just needs to show up. And your version of consistency is once a month to a specific event that you're doing. So that is very much something that you can figure out and factor for yourself. I am not a huge fan of people telling everybody that you have to show up consistent, because I'm a manifester. And as a manifester, I don't have consistent energy cycles. So if you're someone like this and you get sick to death of that, this is my version of what that actually looks like and how you can stop. You can, stop overthinking and take that confident action today. So here's the thing. Overthinking drains your energy and your confidence. Every minute that you're spending spiraling in this indecision, this is a time that you could be using to make your impact, to have that next conversation, to make that next piece of content. And when we get caught in the fear loop, this is like how our brain tricks us into believing that, oh, I'm going to keep you safe, when really you're just self-sabotaging. So here's the thing. I talk to so many people every week who want to have a podcast, who want to write a book, who want to grow and scale their business. And there's this little thing that's keeping them stuck. So I want to give you an action step to reframe what I call, it's like the failure reframe. Okay. So instead of focusing on all your fears and making mistakes, or even mistakes that you've made in the past, instead of focusing on those, I want you to just be really casual about this and say, okay, what's the worst thing that can happen? Okay. And I like to say this out loud with like funny stories because it works for me, but you can do this however you want. So, what's the worst thing that can happen? And walk yourself through the biggest disaster. Like, oh, I could create this podcast today and everybody hates it. And it's like the worst thing ever. And people are laughing at me. Okay, great. Well, is it gonna hurt me? Like, is anyone gonna die? No, no, okay. So you do the best you can with what you've got today and you do it. So, but you could do this with anything. If there's a post you're second guessing, there is a new product you want to create within your business. What's the worst thing that could happen? And I promise you, friend, 90% of the time, if not more, the worst case isn't as bad as you imagine. So have fun with saying, "Oh, well, if I put this out there, my whole life could blow up." Okay, well, maybe it was time for a shakeup or like a redo, a reset of some kind. So walk yourself through this in a funny way. I find that saying it out loud or writing it down on paper, the more ridiculous you are, the more you can kind of like laugh at yourself. And this helps you really bust through the fear that sometimes just really keeps us stuck. So, um, the next thing is that success is built on imperfect action, right? Like you don't always know what's going to work and you don't have to know. Just take one action and then you might find out like, "Oh, well that didn't work at all. Okay, that's not for me." Um but at least you're one step on the process, right? Like you found out another thing that doesn't work. Go you, right? Like that's amazing. So if you look at every mistake as just the stepping stone to clarity, you can play with this. Like some of my clients love just looking at it through the lens of, okay, I'm just going to do any action today. I'm not going to get really focused on it has to be the most aligned action for what I'm doing next because I don't know. And if that's where you are, just do anything and have fun with like, oh, well, I don't know. I was thinking I should call this person today. And in our conversation, they offered me the, this amazing job that I didn't even know I wanted. And now I just signed the deal. Or maybe you decide, you know what, I really don't want to work today. So I'm going to go take a walk. And you bump into your most beloved dream client on your walk and she like pays you right there, like here's my credit card, I'd love to hire you. So you don't know where things are going to come from, but if you're going to sit around moping that you don't know what to do, then you're not going to get anywhere. So just go do something, right? Because success is truly built on imperfect action. Just take any action. And then when you look at like, oh, every mistake as, okay, this is a stepping stone to the clarity of what actually works, you can like have fun with it and say, oh, well, that was just a fun activity I discovered I like. And a simple mindset, don't say that, so fast, but a simple mindset shift that I find works really well is just tell yourself progress. I'm making progress today. Progress, not perfection. Say it with me, friend. I am making progress today, right? Progress, not perfection. So if you go and try to build something complete, instead of taking little aligned actions all the time, you might get to the end and be like, oh, I didn't even want this anyway. But by taking little actions and kind of seeing what works, it is so much more fun because one of the things I wish I knew earlier in my entrepreneurial business leadership journey is that you need to enjoy the journey, that the journey is really where the juiciness of life is. So if I could time travel and go back and tell my 19-year-old self that, that would be a game changer. So, friend, take that. Remember that it's all about the journey. So, the next thing that we're going to think about is, you know, how to shift into action. Because sometimes if you've been stuck in this fight or flight for so long, you're like, how can I shift into action? So I want to give you my favorite decision making hack because you can give yourself a rule. Yes, a rule, right? So here's the thing. So give yourself a rule that you have this 60-second rule. If it won't matter in 6 months, then you can decide to do it in 60 seconds or less, right? Most of our decisions are not so huge that, oh, my whole life is going to blow up and I'm afraid to make the wrong decision. And oh, what if this? And oh, what if that? Okay, great. Again, decision making hack. Give yourself 60 seconds, friend. If it won't matter in 6 months, you must make a decision in 60 seconds. Any decision, no pressure, just make a decision and take the action. I love this one. My clients are always reporting back like, oh my goodness, I can't believe how good that works. So if you have to write it on a Post-it and stick it on your computer, if you need to write it in lipstick on your mirror, if it won't matter in 6 months, you've got 60 seconds to decide what the decision is, period. So simple. So action creates clarity. You don't get clarity before you take action, but this is where our brain gets us stuck in this fear trap, right? It thinks like, oh, well, let me wait. I'm going to just sit here and think in this freeze pose about what the next best great action would be. Nope. Nope. That's like we need to shut down our brain. And when you really want to get in alignment with this, this is when I love for people to run their human design chart because your human design chart has so much wisdom for how you best operate and make decisions. So go to my website and I'll actually include the show notes so that you can run your free design chart. Like you can go under about Tracy and look at all the stuff about human design and you can run your human design chart absolutely for free there. This will give you a leg up. So if you're like still in fear, go run your chart so that you can see how you best make decisions. That's really, really something that I love this tool so much to help people. So that's for you. Because the thing is that action creates clarity. You don't get there by sitting around thinking, right? Thinking is not going to get it at all. We need to use, like for me, I need to use my heart. Like, oh, is that really, does my heart really want that? My son is a manifesting generator that has a sacral authority. So he's got to feel it, like right, feel it in his body. When that happens, he knows to take action. So just pull your chart and figure out what is your best way of making decision. This will help you so much here. And then you just start taking action of any kind. You're just taking an action. That's going to bring you clarity so much faster than sitting around thinking that, oh, well, I'm not going to move until I know, what the next action is. The other thing something that is the 1% rule. So if you look at it like this, that you only have to make one small move every day towards your goal, just one small move. Tiny shifts lead to massive results. So, yes, even on the days you don't feel like it, at least send one email, one text. Let one more person know about what you're doing. And that's it. Like, if it's a day you really don't feel like it, just do one little thing. I promise you, this builds massive momentum over time. That's it. No pressure. So try that out, friend, for sure. Um, Another action step I'd love for you to think about is look at it through this lens. The future you. This is like my decision filter. So I want you to imagine yourself as the most successful version of yourself, right? What choice, like, would you make right now? So if you kind of catapult yourself, right? If you can do this time bending, right? Catapult yourself to the future, close your eyes and imagine yourself as that most aligned, most successful version of yourself. And then ask yourself that question, right? What choice would she make, right? Because sometimes you're saying it about what choice would she make right now? And when you do that, it's so many things become so much more crystal clear. So from this place of your most aligned, most successful self, create a simple decision making framework, right? So, does this align with your long term vision, right? Do I really want this? Um, does this really align, or is it just a good idea? Right? Because sometimes ideas are just a dime a dozen. But if it doesn't align, it's okay to say no and take the next action, right? Make sure it really aligns with you and take the next action. Um, it's okay to say no when it's coming from a aligned decision. Not making a decision and doing nothing is not the solution. That is it's kind of like you're giving away your power. You're not owning your decision. So if you're going to say no because it's aligned. Don't just not do anything and sit in this frozen, the world's running over me moment and just say you're not going to do anything, because that is a decision and it's generally not the right one. So I just want to clarify that there. So another thing that you can do is shift from thinking and saying I should, or should I, like all that stuff. I always say, like, stop shoulding, right? Stop shoulding all over yourself and just say, okay, what's the next best move, right? And if you really want to amplify this, it's like, go back to that most successful version of yourself in the future and say, what's the next best move? And whatever happens, whatever pops up, go do that. Period. So, um, though hopefully you like those actions so far. Um, one of the things that really always, like, it seems to always come up when I'm working with new clients about this, when we're really looking through how to stop this overthinking so that you can take that confident, aligned action today, what comes up is that they don't feel ready or confident yet. So I want to focus a little bit of time on on how you can sort of build your confidence. So some confidence building strategies. So the first thing is, I want you to remember always, like, remember this always, write it down, say it loud, shout it out. Confidence is not something you're born with. So it's not something you're born with, it's something that you build. So if you see other people that appear so confident, I promise they weren't born that way. They didn't come out like woo woo, even if you do have some strong leadership qualities, you still have to build your confidence within. So, this secret to confidence comes after action, not before. So, take an action and then you'll be like, oh, that doesn't work. That doesn't work. Oh, this does work. Okay, do it again. Perfect. You start perfecting the skill and then you get there. So, the action is where all the learning happens. So, a very quick confidence booster is just know that if you act as if you already believe in yourself, right? So, hear me again, act as if you already believe in yourself, and miraculously, your brain will catch up. And you, my friend, will absolutely believe in yourself. So, those are like my three hottest tips for confidence. It's just taking an action every day will build it, right? Um, I always go back to the story of, like, babies learning to walk. Like, it wasn't like, oh, she fell down 100 times. Oh, I'm gonna cry. She's never gonna walk, right? Just know that if you start to say, oh, I'm confident, I got this, I can do this, and you start acting as if you really believe in yourself and you walk with that extra pep in your step, your brain will catch up and just absolutely, you believe in yourself. So go make it happen. Um, the thing that is most important here, friend, is that this is the game changing difference to all of it. I want you to commit to imperfect action. Set a messy action goal for this week, right? What is one thing that you're going to do without overthinking? Like, don't even think about it, just do it, right? Find an accountability partner, hire a business coach, uh, like myself or whoever you connect with. But success loves company. Surround yourself with people who are successful, right? Because the other side of this is that misery also loves company. We want to hang out with successful people. So find an accountability partner, hire a business coach, take a program, do something that puts you in proximity to successful people. And friend, give yourself permission to start before you feel ready, right? I look back at some of my old content, my old books, it's cringy for me. And they say that if you don't cringe when you look at your first ideation of something, then you waited too long to start. So I will celebrate all the cringes with you because I have so many of them myself. So, all right, friend, I hope that you feel ready and prepared to stop the endless loops of overthinking and start stepping into your power. Remember, I want you to take the action. That action creates clarity, right? So you're taking action knowing that action creates clarity. Confidence is built daily, brick by brick, through action. The faster you move, the faster you win, whatever it is that you're going after. So, of course, I would never end this without giving you actual, tangible, actionable steps. So, I want you to take one bold action today. I want you to screenshot this episode, share it on Instagram, and then tag me at Tracey Watts Cirino so I can celebrate your breakthrough moment, right? I want to celebrate with you. And if you're ready to go deeper and you want even more help with this, I invite you to book a strategy session with me and we'll get you unstuck fast. Until next time, stay bold, stay beyond amazing, stay brave, and keep taking aligned action. Take care. I'll see you on the next one.